This is my review for season 15, episode 3 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Has The Real Housewives of Atlanta lost its popularity? Is the show worth watching? The show is missing quite a few things, but I'm gonna talk about that at the end. So let me just get into the episode. Sonya and her sister Sherry. It sounds like Sonya is saying Shaz, but on the screen it says Sherry. So Sonya, her mom, Miss Sharon, and Sherry are in the office with pencils on the desk. What adult still writes with pencils, taking notes? Were they doing math or something? I don't know. But when I saw the pencils, I said, is this a scene they're just trying to make it look like they're doing something? Because pencils? But anyway, they're talking. Sonya is going over, a list of things that she has to get done with Sherry's husband, Tyrell. It's a long list. And she just explained it to him. And then she goes and tells her sister Sherry that Ross, wants it just to be them again. Meaning, the mom, the dad, Sherry, her husband, and her 2 children, basically, they need to move out. It did look like Sherry's feelings were hurt. And the mother was like, he said a year or 2. And it came up on a year already. But Ross wants them to be out. Then Sonya says, it's not about you all. He just wants it to be us. No, that means it is about them. He doesn't want them there anymore, which is totally fine, But I do think Sonya asked her family to come on to live with her, to help her with the show. I do believe that. And they helped her. I feel like Sonya, she has 4 gold medals.
I'm a 4-time Olympic gold medalist. Put some respect on my name.
So her life is pretty much has been centered around her. All about Sonya. I mean, that's a lot. Somebody who's in Olympics, a gold medalist, that's a great accomplishment. It feels as though Sherry, and she did say she feels like Sonya is self-centered. And that, they were living there to help her watch Deuce and everything. But if you knew Sherry, that's what it was. You didn't have to live with her. But I guess they wanted to help Sonya out. So she explains it to Sherry. Sherry walks out. She looked like she was upset. The mother said, don't take it personal. I don't know the agreement that Sonya and Sherry had together, but it looked like maybe they agreed on something else. And now Ross wants them out. Sonya feels guilty to me. She said, I have all these things and I always just want to help my family out. To me, it feels like Sonya feels guilty for being successful. Because she's so successful, she wants her family to be a part of that. And it's like, Sonya, don't feel guilty for being successful. It is what it is. Everybody has their own path. It's nothing you can do about that. Yes, you want to help and reach out to people, but if they're not receptive, they're not receptive. Sherry husband, Tyrell, quit being the assistant. I guess they felt like Sonya was crossing boundaries because they lived together. So I guess he felt like, or Sherry, I think it's the sister, felt like Sonya would be mixing family time with, working time. I don't know. I'm glad he quit, to be quite honest with you. And he can go find another job, because if he felt that way, that's fine. She offered you the opportunity to be her assistant. It didn't work out. Okay, y'all can move out and then he can find another job. I don't see anything wrong with that. He didn't like being Sonya's assistant. Okay, move on, find another job. To me, I thought Sonya said it was hard for him to find a job because of real estate. He has a better opportunity. They want to figure it out. Okay. I don't think Sherry should be mad because a year is quite a long time. It looks like your husband didn't need the job, so y'all can't be hurting for money for him to be quitting to be an assistant. So y'all can go ahead and find another place to stay. A year or two, it's been a year. It's too crowded in their house. It's time for them to go. If Sherry is saying, oh, Sonya is self-centered because she needed somebody to watch Deuce, okay, you watch Deuce for that 1 year. Now it's over. Just go look for another house. That was interesting. I feel like that part, Sonya talking about her family and her family dynamic and her family issues, I feel like that's the real Sonya. When she said, oh my gosh, I hope it didn't hurt my sister's feelings. I feel like that's the real Sonya. I want to see more of that. You know, Sherry, the mom, Sonya, their dynamic. Marlo is at a shoot with her nephews. They're doing a Halloween shoot. She does a shoot for Halloween every year. She was Mary J. Blige 1 year, Little Kim. I didn't know who the kitten was. And I think, and Babs. Halle Berry from Babs. So her sister comes and they're talking about, you know, her nephew and everything that happened to him. And how Marlo feels that Kandi was not as supportive. And this is how I feel. Could Kandi have sent some flowers to the funeral? Yes. Did Kandi send flowers to the funeral? Don't know. Because sometimes Marlo be lying and you don't get the whole story from Marlo. Would it have been nice for Kandi to send some flowers to the funeral? Not just because he worked at OLG, but because she knows Marlo and that was her nephew and he worked at her restaurant. Yes. However, you cannot dog people out every chance you get and then you want sympathy from them. However wrong you may feel it is, or have unempathetic, if that's the word. If you feel like Kandi wasn't sympathetic or empathetic to the situation, she says she's sorry to hear that in the text message. She doesn't have to do anything beyond that. And you shouldn't expect anything from that as much as you go in on Kandi. Why do you expect her to do something? It would have been nice, but she didn't do it. She doesn't have to. She doesn't have to, Marlo. And then Marlo talks about, and it's not being insensitive that her nephew passed away. That's very hurtful and sad. However, Kandi does not have to send you flowers to the family, to the mother. She doesn't have to send any of that. It would have been nice. She didn't do it. She doesn't have to. When it comes to Marlo saying that Kandi is worldwide and she should have helped her get her record expunged, I was so confused. Marlo, you dog Kandi out every chance you get. Every chance you get. She's worldwide. She could have got my record expunged. No, you said Kandi's not worldwide. She's only known in Atlanta. And you hang around the billionaires. When you were on Jason Lee's podcast, you never see Kandi in those rooms. You hang out with the billionaires. You to ask one of them billionaires to get your record expunged. Why is it Kandi's responsibility to get your record expunged? You do it. She doesn't have to do that. She doesn't owe you anything. Kandi does not owe you anything. Why do you think, oh, she's worldwide, she could help me get my record expunged? And you can help yourself get it expunged. I don't know why people feel like people owe them things. They don't owe you anything. If people help you out, just thank them. If they don't have to. Nobody on this earth owes you anything. It'll be nice. They don't have to do anything. When it comes to situations like this that Marlo is talking about, oh, Kandi could have, the way you dog Kandi out, she's not helping you. She's not, help yourself. You got all that mouth, Marlo, help yourself. You know these billionaires, you go to all these places. Oh, Kandi probably never been outside the country. You out the country, you know people, help yourself out. I didn't like that. And then Courtney was like, yeah, I helped her. I introduced her to somebody that, thank you. Well, thank you, Courtney. Thank you. I guess Marlo should have met you a long time ago. Introduce her, and Marlo, you move on. I'm just so sick of Marlo and this Kandi thing. Marlo is really making me tired with this Kandi owes me something. Then they're going to Birmingham. And they all meet at Sheree house to get on the bus and everything. Drew, Kandi isn't there. Shout out to Kandi for being on the Power 100 list. Okay, she got recognized for that. It's Sheree, Marlo, Kenya, Monyetta, and Sonya. So they get there. They get to the hotel, okay? It was so awkward watching them ride to Birmingham. None of the ladies are friends. They didn't have that much stuff to talk about. It was just uninteresting. What they talked about, I don't want to talk about on here. It's like, that's all y'all got to talk about? Okay, I don't want to talk about that. They get there. They go to dinner. Bryce calls Courtney. Courtney, Kenya says, oh, there's only one Bryce that I know. She worked with him on the movie set Twa. Okay, don't care. Really don't. But Drew, if you take a page out of Kenya's book, that's how you act surprised, okay? When you act like you didn't know that you were going to talk to that person. Review that. Look what Kenya did, and you try that next time. So Kenya is trying to talk to Marlo about what happened at the event when Marlo was upset with Drew about not saying the word shooting. Marlo is really messing up this opportunity for herself. You said that Kenya wasn't at the event, so she doesn't know what happened. So she shouldn't be talking about it. But Marlo, you want Candy to talk about something that you were not at. I don't understand Marlo's thought process. I don't know if Marlo, no offense, Marlo looks good with the fashions. Marlo looks good, okay? I like the stuff that she wear. You know, she's always put together. However, Marlo doesn't know how to navigate in this group of ladies. Yeah, she knows how to dress nice, but I feel like Marlo don't feel like she deserves to be there. But Marlo, girl, you deserve to be there. It's just pouring out of her that she doesn't feel like she's worthy to be on that platform. She's like a fish out of water. Marlo, you can be there. You do not have to go against Kenya and mess up this opportunity for yourself and your nephews. I feel like every chance she gets, she wants to argue with Kenya. Y'all could have had a decent dialogue and said, hey, Kenya, it didn't happen that way. And then you go on to say, you know, what happened. But for you to say, oh, don't talk. Marlo, first of all, you're being hypocritical. Secondly, what is your goal? What is your purpose? What are you trying to do on this show? What are you trying to get out of it? Are you trying to be a villain? Are you trying to be the nice lady? Are you trying to attack Candy and Kenya? Are you trying to tell your story? What are you trying to do? Because I am confused. You're going to get put off this show. You're going to get put off this show, and they probably won't even ask you back as a friend because nobody is going to want to film with you. Everything does not have to be confrontational. You can have a conversation. The same way you said Candy didn't want to bring it up. You didn't want to bring up what happened between you and Drew. And you were aggressive to Drew, got in Drew's face, and walked out. So I don't understand what Marlo's play is. I'm feeling kind of bad for her because it does look like she wants Kenya's validation. And I mean, no offense, Kenya do be dismissing Marlo. She dismisses her. And rightfully so. When Marlo was talking about Kenya's mother, her parenting, what's her husband's name? Oh my gosh. What is her husband? I can never remember that man's name. Mark. Mark doesn't want her. You wanted Kenya to be your friend. It's not going to work that way. So do I feel like Kenya owes you anything? I don't feel like Kenya owes Marlo anything. The way you talk about that lady, no, she's going to dismiss you every time. So you're looking for something, no, it's not going to work out. Then they go to this cocktail event. That looked like an after work office party, cocktail party. I was embarrassed for Kenya. She gets there, the dress code is not what everybody else thought it was. So then we get to the event. They asked the producers to leave. It was too much going on. It was too many lights, too many cameras. The people were not focused on the event. They were focused on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So they had to leave. Okay, fine. Kenya leaves. Okay. Is Kenya a good host? No. She wasn't a good host in Charleston. She wasn't a good host here. So they go back. Kenya went to her room. Brooklyn is in the room with Kenya. The ladies all decide to confront Kenya. Then Marlo starts to kick Kenya's door. Marlo, where are you? You cannot kick that lady's door like that. You are in a hotel, for one. Two, she doesn't have to come out of her room. Now, do I think the same thing that happened in South Carolina happened there in Birmingham? Yes. I felt like, no offense, Kenya didn't want to film anymore. So she went in the room with Brooklyn the same way she did in South Carolina, and she pretty much just left the scene. That's just my opinion. She left. The way Marlo handled it was totally out of line. When Candy went and knocked on her door, she knocked on the door. Kenya came to the door. She spoke to her. Marlo goes up there kicking the door, banging. You can't do that. And this is what I don't understand, and this is why I feel like the show is not what it used to be. If you were that girl, Marlo, Sheree, Sonya, Monyetta, and Courtney, y'all could have let Kenya stay in that room. Y'all could have went and put on y'all pajamas, went to somebody's hotel room, and did a scene in there without Kenya. If you wanted to shine, Marlo, to show what you really got and what you can bring to the show, you could have, that was a perfect opportunity for you to have a scene for yourself and show them that you can really produce something. But you can't. You did not take the opportunity and run with it. Your Marlo's whole storyline is to antagonize Candy, antagonize Drew, and to antagonize Kenya. And you're not going to get nowhere with that storyline, Marlo. You want, oh, it's not fair. No, that's not fair. She got to, no, she doesn't. Kenya's been on that show since season 5. She has paid her dues. And yes, you do have to keep filming and doing things and show your life as well. But Marlo's not the one to call her out on it. You just got there. You worry about your story. What is your storyline, Marlo? It can't be Kenya and Candy adversary. That's not a storyline. Now, you can have a storyline, and then if you really don't care for them, y'all can have banter back and forth, but some healthy banter, not what Marlo be saying. The stuff Marlo is saying, it's like, girl, they're not going to want you to come back. They're not going to want you to come back. I didn't like the fact that she was banging on Kenya's door like that with Brooklyn in there. Even if Brooklyn wasn't in there, you don't go to somebody's hotel room like Kenya owes you to come out the room. If somebody wanted her to come out the room, the producer should have told her to come out the room. They didn't do it. And if they told you to do it, you dumb. Because you look crazy banging on that lady door like that. Nobody else did it. Sheree she knocked and then she kicked the door, but I think they added a sound bite to that kick. Because when her foot kicked it, it sounded like they added something. It looked like Sheree didn't really kick it. She acted like she was going to kick it. I don't know. I need to go watch it again. But I didn't like that. So they go downstairs. Then Marlo wants to get into it with Monyetta. For what? Then she slams the door. I said, Marlo is unhinged. Girl, you are showing them that you do not belong on this show. You are really messing up this opportunity. Really squandering this opportunity, girl. Sheree, you've been on that show long enough that you could have at least rallied the girls and did something. Y'all could have did another scene without Kenya. Is Kenya wrong for not wanting to film? Yes, I do believe Kenya, she copped out again like she did in South Carolina. She didn't want to do it. I feel like she was embarrassed. The event didn't go as well. And I feel like Kenya is kind of burnt out. I feel like Kenya does not really want to film with them ladies on the show. I feel like she really feels like, no offense, they're not on her level. I feel like she needs Nene back, Cynthia. She don't feel like she needs to film with them. That's how I look at it. Kenya feel like she don't want to film with them. They ain't on her level. I don't want to film with them. I'm going to get a bare minimum with them. It ain't even worth it. Let them do something. That's how I feel. Is she right? But they ain't bringing nothing, to be quite honest with you. They ain't bringing nothing. The show is missing. And I know she is not coming back. But Lanithia Leaks.
Zip this zipper down to see what this is, honey.
I don't know.
They make them when you got the coins.
Really?
You can buy them out the runway, bitch. They
is well missed. And yes, at the end, her last couple seasons, when she was like, oh, acting like she don't want to film, walking off this, I feel like Nene really messed it up. But the show is missing Lanithia Leaks, Cynthia Bailey, Portia Williams. I don't care if you don't like her. Sorry. Portia Williams. We can leave Candy. We can leave Kenya. I know Phaedra ain't coming back, but we missing Phaedra Parks. Even though what she did was very, very wrong. Very low, very dirty. What she accused Candy of. If she hadn't done that, Phaedra could be back in the lineup too. That's what we're missing. Marlo, she has to stay a friend. Because Marlo is not a lead. Let's just call a thing, a spade, a spade. Marlo, you can't lead. You are a friend of. And it's okay. You were a great friend of for all those seasons. But Marlo needs somebody to reel her back in. Nene had to reel her back in when she was getting out of hand. Nene had to reel her back in. At one point when Kenya was her friend, Kenya had to reel her back in. Marlo can't lead because Marlo is a fish out of water. She don't know what to do. She doesn't know what to do. That's what the show is missing. The show is also missing people, personal stories. I don't know what they are filming about. Kenya, I'm pretty sure, and I don't know if she can't talk about Mark. That's a good storyline for Kenya to talk about Mark and what's going on. She said he's been dragging on a divorce, and maybe Mark is like, oh, you can't speak about me on the show. Well, give him another name. Make a fake name up for him, but talk about it. Drew, we're not getting a real story with her. She acting like everything is well with her marriage, knowing that it's not. Marlo, you need to talk about your past. Yeah, that was 20 years ago. Talk about it. You ain't talk about nothing else. We need to know what happened in your past. Marlo needs to be going to therapy, not no life coach. Going to therapy, hashing out all the problems from her past, okay? To know why she has to act like she doesn't feel worthy. Why do you feel like you don't feel worthy? Marlo needs to do some deep. That's your storyline, Marlo, not Candy. You worried about Candy? No, get you a storyline. You have a storyline. Not going to Neiman Marcus, picking up 3 pairs of shoes. That's not no storyline. That's not a storyline. Shopping. That's not a story. And yes, we love to see it. I love to see it. I wanted to see the shoes that she bought, but that's not no storyline, Marlo. We want to see it, but we need some. Sheree, what you got going on? Sheree, going to Kenya. You've been fired 3 times. She said not fired, allegedly not fired. But Sheree, you've been on this show. You got so many opportunities, okay? And I like Sheree. And I pretty much like all the ladies, to be quite honest with you, because I really don't dislike them. It's just the way what they portray on the show sometimes is annoying. Sheree, now you got the She by Sheree, okay? Now that's done. You wrapped that up last season. You put that in the bow last season. She by Sheree is done. You can wear the paraphernalia, put it on. The She by Sheree is gone, okay? We need another storyline for you. Courtney, I don't know what's going on in Courtney's life. Courtney was getting on my nerves when she was coming for Candy, but I'm very, look, what I want to hear it because ain't nobody else bringing nothing, okay? What's going on with Courtney? Sonya ain't got nothing going on herself but her family stuff. That's all Sonya got going on. Drew, I already talked about Drew. That's what it's missing. Nene, we need Lanithia Leaks. But Andy said the door is closed. The door is closed. I'm so sad about that. But the story is not going, the show will not be able to continue if they don't get some people on it that's willing to tell their story. If they don't have anything going on in their life, they should not be able to be on the show. And also, they need to have some type of friendship on this show. Or bring another group of ladies that's going to build a friendship. But they also have stuff going on in their own lives. They're in the same social circle. But the show will not be able to continue. And it's y'all wasting my, how much time is that? 48 minutes? 48 minutes of my time watching this. That episode was, it just made Marlo look foolish, in my opinion. That whole episode was, she talking about Candy. Candy not even there. Candy somewhere else. Candy, I mean, yes, Candy is quiet. They say Candy's boring, but at least she does bring something. She brings something to the show. You can't have a 5 Nene Leakes on the show. You can't. It's not going to work. Cynthia was of value to me. And quiet as it's kept. If y'all go back and look at the show, because I've been here since season 1, okay? If y'all go back and look at the show, and look at Cynthia's confessionals, and when she's mad, when Cynthia is funny, for real, for real. Cynthia is really funny. But Cynthia was needed on the show. She was. She played a great role. Lanithia Leakes, Phaedra, Portia, Candy, Kenya. I guess if Sheree want to come back. And I know y'all don't want Kim to come back. The way she was talking about, she didn't want to be on the stage with all those black women, or she alluded to that. Can't remember. I don't want to misspeak, but she alluded to that. Okay, but if Kim hadn't said that, we need to bring Kim back too. But I don't think Kim coming back. I don't think nobody wants Kim back. But we need people that's willing to go there. Sheree, you ain't gonna give us so much of Sheree life. You really not. Sheree not gonna say nothing about her life. The last time Sheree talked about her life was what, season 1, when she was going through it with Bob, and she was getting put out that house, and you ain't gonna pay me no child support. Never, 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 never. That's as much as life Sheree has talked about. Ever since then, you really don't hear nothing that much about Sheree. Candy been sharing her life. Kenya has been sharing her life. Nene, rest in peace. Greg, you got that me wrong as your wife, and I stood by you. Yeah, Nene, she talked to her son, Bryce, okay? And I'm hard on you. Oh, you done lost your mind, and when you find it, you come back and talk to me. We need Nene back. Nene, why did you mess it up? She's well missed. But anyway, I'm just rambling. I don't know. They say the ratings dropped on the show. I'm trying to hang in there. But Atlanta, y'all gonna have to do a shake up. Y'all really gonna have to vet people and vet what they're willing to talk about and what they're willing not to talk about. And if they're not on board, it's not all about being famous. And now I feel like as the seasons go on, they want to get people that people know, at least for Atlanta. Drew, she's an actor. Sonya, she was an Olympic gold medalist. Y'all want to try to shake it up and probably get some random people that nobody knows about so we can really get into a storyline about them. But anyway, that's my review for episode 15, season 15, episode 4. I'll see y'all in the next review. Bye.